welcome to Gulfstream today, and welcome to beautiful Gulfstream Park. Ron Nicoletti along with Acacia Courtney. It is Thursday, day 2 of the summer-spring meeting. We'll have 8 races we're going to talk about, and I want to make you know that tomorrow, starting Friday, we're going to have a new post time of 12:55 p.m., and that is to accommodate the racing over at Keeneland.
It is opening weekend coming up over there in Kentucky. We have been at 12:35 p.m., still 12:35 today, but then tomorrow we will go a little bit later to 12:55, and tomorrow is also Friday, Ron, so that does mean it's Beat the Expert, and I'm up.
You're up this week, and I had 4 winners last week, and it wasn't good enough. A bunch of people
had 5 winners a couple weeks ago, and that wasn't good enough.
Well, there's great handicappers out there, and you know, if you're not aware of this, it's free to play. You just go on our Facebook page and hashtag it Beat the Expert, and you pick more winners than us. You get a chance to win one of those really nice polo shirts, and you don't have to put that crunchy face on like that.
Yes, you can play from home, and definitely let us know that you're playing. We have 9 races on tap tomorrow, so you have until 12:55, that new first post, to get your picks in.
Yeah, and that, again, yep, 12:55, that first race post. And now let's go through Thursday's wagering menu. And we're going to start it off today with the first of 2 pick 5s. That's the early pick 5. First 5 races on the card. And then we got the Rainbow Six. And I've been mentioning this over the last couple of years. When we have it hit, a big payoff. Next time somebody usually hits it, paid really nice, $35,000 yesterday. So that is starting in race number 3. And then in race number 4 this afternoon, we'll have our final pick 5 of the afternoon. And race 5 today is where we'll have our rolling super high 5 starting. That is in race 5 this afternoon. So that is the wagering that we're offering here at Gulfstream Park this afternoon. And no carryovers to let you know about. As I mentioned, I hit that Rainbow Six yesterday. So I think all that business taken care of. We did everything we're supposed to do, right?
Okay, I think so.
Let's go to the first race.
All
7
right.
furlongs claimers, 4 and up, non-winners of 3 races in life, or race since October of 5th, which is 6 months, $12,500. And we got 6 runners in this field. I went with the number 6 in here, Keep Me Grounded. How'd you see the opener?
Well, let's give you a look at my pick 5 ticket.
That's right. I did forget one thing.
One thing. There's always one thing. But that's okay. We'll give you a look. And I do have that number 6 on as well, Ron. 8-5, very early in the wagering. Keep Me Grounded. First up, the claim for Saffie Joseph Jr., but using 3 horses. I wasn't totally enamored with singling in the first leg, so 3 horses, then just 2 in the second, using 3 in the third. And my singles, a little bit of guesswork, but I'm going to go with the number 1 Roll Again Question. Second off, the claim for Jane Sibelian. We'll talk about this later, but that horse just had a world of trouble last time out. Then using 4 horses in that maiden claiming race in the 5th, just $36.
Yeah, I agree with you in race number 5. I think that's a wide open affair, and it's good that you went deep there, you know, with the 4 runners in that one. So very affordable ticket today for our first of 2 pick 5s on the afternoon. Now we'll get into the race. Who did you put on top of your ticket?
I did put the number 6, Keep Me Grounded, on at top, as I alluded to earlier. It's first off the claim for Saffie Joseph Jr., and this barn has just been doing an excellent job with all of their runners, but particularly with some really sharp claims and getting the win right after the claim. But he does claim off of Jason Service, so it's not really like a tough, an easy barn to improve upon. So that is why I did end up using a couple other horses in here. Was beaten by McFly last time, who was switching surfaces and just was the main speed, it seemed to be. So I'll give him one more try. He has been successful against tougher.
Yeah, you make a great point with Jason Service. And the reason I think that the Saffie Joseph Jr. barn has been doing so well, they claim and they put the horses back in the right spot. And if they need some time off, they give them some time off. So they've been just doing excellent work, as you mentioned. Now, we both used the number 5, Mongolian Holiday, in second. This one is stepping up to the next logical level after making that 3-wide move on the turn to defeat 6,252 lifetime claimers at this distance. Jorge Ruiz, couple of wins yesterday, will be in the saddle this afternoon.
And Enabich Ganbat, actually a win yesterday as well. Just had a horse wire the field in a maiden race. So barn coming in pretty solid, and they got the win together last time out at that 62.50 non-winners of 2. And it's interesting because this horse has kind of been all over the place. He did break his maiden at first asking, but it was on a track that was taken off of the turf at Arlington, and then they stepped him right up to grade 3 company, and even really tough allowance company, where he ran against the likes of Neolithic, who of course we saw in the Pegasus World Cup and the Dubai World Cup. So he's obviously got class to him. He was eased and walked off in that race, but
minor setback.
Minor setback. They did think highly enough of him to put him into stakes and graded stakes company after his maiden win.
Well, the horse I did not use him, I took you see our selections up there, was this free horse Remarkable Tale.
And I like this horse in the cutback in distance, and the fact that he's being claimed back by Harry Benson. He had this horse for the majority of his starts. He was claimed by Jose Garofalo, had him for just one start, claimed back by the original barn, and immediately they cut him back in distance, where he has been much more successful. I like him much better sprinting, and I think because of the barn changes, because of how his last couple of races were really not pretty, it will dirty up his form a little bit, maybe get a better price.
Well, the number 2 Cyber Josh, the one I used in 30, stepping up the competition. He skipped a condition and he defeated 6,253 lifetime claimers while still eligible for his non-winners of 2 lifetime, and that is why he is in this race this afternoon, and proved he could beat better if you believe the conditions there, and coming back. So Cyber Josh, a logical contender on there.
That's fair. He did win by open lengths, but that was not a strong field last time out.
You had to ruin my joke. Race number 2 this afternoon, 7 furlongs, claimers 3 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life, $6,250. We do have one scratch in here of the number 2, Fancy Flash, and I went with the number 5 horse, and so did you, and that is Kamsafu on top of my ticket. This one moved to the Victor Barboza Jr. barn after the claim, turning back to 7 furlongs, and he dueled through the stretch last time out. He got beat a neck, and I want to go back and show you that performance of the stretch run of that race. I thought it was a pretty game performance, and you see it here right there, and I just think that this horse, you'll see it turn it for home, was the number 2 this afternoon, is right there, and I just thought you'll watch this horse go through the stretch and just game all the way through, and just runs well there, and I just thought that this one would be a game performance here last time out. Just gets beat up, and I think the turn back to 7 furlongs is what's going to help this horse this afternoon.
I like it, and that's a good replay to show he was really game in the stretch. It ended up being just a 2-horse race, and kind of to back that up, we'll show a trainer stat on Victor Barboza Jr. in the past 5 years. First after the claim on the dirt, he's 8 for 20, 40% win, and 18 for 20 in the money. I thought that was huge, and an ROI of more than $4. This horse probably will be a short price. He's 8 to 5 on the morning line, but just talking about some sharp claims, we see Victor Barboza Jr. doing a great job with that as well.
Yeah, that one's an easy one to figure out. 18 to 20, it's got to be around 90%, so I like those. I don't have to go to my calculator in there. Now, we both used the number 3, Nacho Giant, in second. He's making the 3rd start of his current form cycle. He stalked the pace. He faded along the inside. He finished a distant 4th last time out at this level in the distance. Jenna Antonucci, Edgar Zayas handling the 3rd start off the bench, and I just thought I like the 5 horse in here, and I think that the 3 can certainly come up and grab a share in this race. But if I had to single, I might have singled a horse like this afternoon, talking about the 5 Kamsafu.
And I agree with you there, and I think that Nacho Giant, the reason that I used him on the pick 5 ticket is because he's got a lot of speed to him, and I think that he meets the right kind of field today. He does have a pretty formidable foe in Kamsafu, who looks like a horse that's just in really good form and in the right spot. But I think Nacho Giant, who's been running at this level and just kind of being forwardly placed and just meeting maybe some stronger horses, hopefully he shows some speed and is able to maintain that speed today. That does look to be his biggest problem, but I will use him based off the fact that he might be the lone speed even.
I went with the 1 High Dandy in 3rd, who you have in 4th, who finished 3rd the last time he broke from the rail at this level and distance. Got to go back to March 11. He goes from the outside post 8 to the fence today, hoping to spark that wake-up call today.
He does need a wake-up call. He is 1 for 23, but he has been pretty consistent. His last couple of starts were not really that strong. Maybe, as you said, he did have the outside post last time. Maybe breaking inside will be a little bit better for him. I used him in fourth. I was really intrigued, though, by the 6 bank on John, who does get in with a lightweight right now and moves back to the dirt and also takes the blinkers off. So it's a lot of changes, but I do think maybe with the apprentice allowance, he might be able to get a share.
She's banking on John. We're going to take a break, and I'm banking on my Rainbow 6 ticket to hit this afternoon.
At ExpressBet, we celebrate the champions that make horse racing great. That's why we provide more ways to bet from more places than ever. We've built an entire family of brands to give players more of the rewards they deserve, give bettors the information they need to win, and provide a community for horse bettors. Because the best way to support the champions of horse racing is to champion horse racing. ExpressBet, we are racing.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Acacia. Race number 3 is 1 mile and 1/16. Claim is 4 and up, $6,250. Scratch the number 5, Angel C. And as I mentioned, this is where the Rainbow 6 this afternoon. They got it yesterday. They paid a really nice $35,000. So that one ticket paid $35,000, and I'm expecting more of the same this afternoon. Let's show you my ticket. $43.20, 3 deep, and you'll see in race number 8 today, I singled a horse, this is the reverse pyramid for me today, and that's Miss Munnings in race number 8, and I'll show you why later on. I just thought this horse had a ton of trouble in the stretch last time out, but we'll talk about that race once we get to it. So $43.20, and as I mentioned, starting anew this afternoon.
And of course, I used several horses in the final leg of the sequence, and not that one, so all is right in the world.
I expected nothing less. So this third race here, I started it off with the one high-quality Prince, who's hoping to get away from the starting gate trouble-free. I want to go back and show you the start of this horse's race. And then he ran well in the track. So I want to go back, if we could freeze it here at the start. I want to just go back and show you, this horse here, when he breaks in this race, you'll see it right now. It just, gets really sandwiched back, and he just gets beat there, and he's got to run. And then I'm going to switch it to the 8-pole. So he's last. You see him back there, and that's him right there running dead last. Now coming into the stretch, I think he closes really nicely to be second in that race. So I just thought it was a good performance. He had that legitimate excuse at the thing, and you see him still coming there. He is the number 3 right there, and he runs well. I think after that start, I think he's the logical choice in here this afternoon.
I do too, and you do have to respect him off of that last performance. And the biggest thing for me is that he is just 3 for 41 on form. I will use him in my top 3. I absolutely respect him. Just looking maybe at some other alternatives, like that he's second off the claim, but with the barn second off the claim, good percentages. It is a negative ROI, though. He probably will take a little bit of money off that last race. Again, I do respect him, but I did use the horse you had in second, and that's the 6 Fenerbahce. We think it's pronounced. We've been trying, but last time out, he actually had a very sneaky troubled trip, and it was in large part because of the number 4 Sky Guy, too, who did kind of keep him wide, but Fenerbahce also hopped coming out of the gate last time. He just kind of sat back in the gate a little bit, didn't shoot out as quickly as he normally does because I think his speed is his best weapon. And then, as I said, after he did break, he was pushed out wide by Sky Guy. So I will use him here. Now, first off the claim, hoping he shows that speed that
he had that trouble last time out. He finished 4th behind High Quality Prince a couple of starts back. And I think those two, might be the logical choices for me. But I can understand using the 3 Olympic bid who moved to the Marcial Navarro bond. This one also changing barns via the claiming route, shortens up to 1 mile and a 16th. really never got on track when facing this level of competition at a mile and an 8. But the barn is solid with recent claims, but you really got to go fishing here to find something that you really stamp on.
You do, because he has a good record at Gulfstream Park, 2 for 3, but both of those wins were on a wet track. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant about him. But as you said, barn does well with claims, and he just looks like he's in the right spot. But I thought that this was actually maybe a small field, but a pretty strong field, because it all depends on who really shows up and gets out of the gate in good fashion.
And everybody changing barns,
Yes.
so it's like starting anew for everybody in the race. Let's go to race number 4 this afternoon. This one is 5 furlongs on the turf. These are maiden claim is 3 and up, $40,000 down to $35,000. We do have a scratch in here of number 4, Stun, and this is where a final pick 5 starts. And if memory serves me right, you singled the horse in here. Let's see your late ticket, what you did with that one.
I did. I singled a horse in this race in the early pick 5. I'll use 2 horses protectively because I hate to get kicked out of the first leg, but hopefully Roll Again Question gets the win and gets me home in both of the pick 5 tickets. So 2 by 2 by 2. Spreading in the 7th race, and then as you can see, 3 horses without Ron's single in the last leg. Though I do like that horse, I just wanted to watch one more. $48 for me.
Well, the horse that you singled in your early pick 5 is the one, Roll Again Question, who's turning back to 5 furlongs today. Really an eventful outing at 7.5 furlongs, and we're going to go back and show you this race and this horse, and we're going to pick it up at the start. And he just, he just has trouble in here, and he is the number 5 this afternoon, and we're going to show you here as he starts, and it just, we'll get him here, and he's just going to go and run up there. And yeah, you see him there, right there. He is last in the field and everything like that. We're going to keep showing you this horse as he goes up here. As we come around, he's going to just keep, steadying and steadying in here. Matter of fact, there he is. He just keeps getting in trouble, and you'll see him here. Just comes back and gets in trouble again. That's him right here. Let me get the arrow for you so you can see him here. And here he is right there, and he just keeps steadying and steadying and steadying as he goes up throughout the backstretch. I just want to show you, because he does it numerous times in here, and, we'll just keep an eye on him here. And you see, there he goes, steadying again, steadying again. So I just wanted to show you that performance. Now he comes up, and I thought he ran pretty good after this, and I just want, here he goes once more time again. So just keep your eye on the number 5 in here, and you will see him right there. He's going on, there he goes again, and he's still looking for room and coming around there. And I just thought, as you mentioned, a host of trouble in that particular race.
He did, and he looked like he was pretty hard to handle early on, and it's good to show that replay early in the race, because he's pretty rank. He doesn't want to settle. He can't really find a room to get comfortable. And what I think is the biggest thing about this is that I don't think he likes to be that far back. And as you can see now, Ron pointing the arrow to him, the number 5 there on the outside. Now he's closing, but it looks like he is more comfortable when he's closer to the pace.
Yeah, and it looks like once he got some free running, he really closed well in there. So I just thought I wanted to go back and show you, because steady numerous times in that race, and that was the reasoning I thought. Now the only question is, he's turning back to 5 furlongs today. So that was at 7.5, and as you saw in that video, was around 2 turns.
It is, and he is cutting back in distance, but we will show a stat on trainer Jane Sabelli in the past 5 years. Second after the claim in turf sprints. It's a small sample size, but she does have good success. 3 for 9 winning, 7 for 9 in the money, and it is a positive ROI of 219. And I actually do like this horse sprinting, because maybe that's just less time for him to get into trouble. Hopefully, he's shown some speed before. As I mentioned, I think he's more comfortable on the front end. He's coming off a really sharp bullet work at Palm Meadows, 3 furlongs in 35 and 3. I hope that Nick Juarez just has him blast out of the gate on the rail, and that's it.
Yeah, and but I think you did the right thing by putting the 3 Southern Sea also on your ticket. This one now listed as a gelding. He's turning back to 5 furlongs today. He showed some speed, and he got caught late in a pair of maiden special weight races contested at 7.5 furlongs. Ron Spat, Tyler Gaffleone atop this gelded son of Cantaros.
And he's coming off of a 6-month layoff, but he does have some speed. This is a very busy morning here.
Someone called. I forgot to shut my phone off there. Sorry about that.
You're very popular.
Yeah, I can't believe someone's calling me on the air. Get back there.
Well, now we're going back to one turn for this horse. He does have some speed to him as well. Ron, we do have to talk about the 2 Stoneheart, who just looks to be a money burner. And I have tried to get this horse home a couple times recently. Beaten by a nose behind No Phone Joe. And then he did come back. He was beaten by Eloy Rod last time, who came back to win. Maybe he's just trying to find the right spot, but he has been the favorite in his last 3.
Well, is he stepping up or not? I don't know. He broke from post 10. He rallied to finish second. He was beating a length at $20,000 level. Is this a jump up? I thought it's sort of a lateral move, and he ran pretty well in there.
I thought it was lateral too, so that's why I ended up using him in my top 3, but didn't use him in the pick 5.
Well, let's go to race number 5 this afternoon. Now my phone is shut off. I don't know how I got so popular. I get 2 calls a week, and both of them were when I'm on the air. So race number 5 this afternoon, 6 furlongs, maiden claiming fillies, 3-year-olds, $35,000. No scratches or jockey changes in race 5. This starts our final pick 4 of the afternoon.
It does, and we both landed on the class dropper, the 4 One Direction song for trainer David Casson. And just looking at stats from maiden special weight to maiden claiming, it's just not really a move that he does that much. But this horse does get the blinkers on, and she showed some speed in her debut, which I do think is very encouraging. And now that was state bred maiden special weight, I think this is actually a pretty good maiden 35 level. So I do think that she fits in here.
Yeah, Nick Morris, a couple of wins on yesterday's card. I think for all the reasons you mentioned, One Direction song. I don't know any of the One Direction songs. I know they were big hits, but this one's certainly on top of my ticket, too. I went with the 6 and second, and that's Princess Victoria, dropping back to the $35,000 level on the main track. Showed speed, got caught late in 5 consecutive route races on the turf. Her only previous outing on the turf was on the sloppy track. So she's trying something new this afternoon. I like the fact that she showed some speed on the turf course and now going to the main track. Maybe that's all she needs. And as I mentioned, her only previous race on the dirt was on the sloppy track.
There are some question marks to her, and I looked at this horse for a long time, and then I ended up just going with a first-time starter in second, and that is the number 7 Italian Smile. I'm actually surprised you didn't pick this one. And this one, she has a really nice work tab. She does have apprentice Carlos Hernandez in the saddle, getting Lasix for the debut. There was some precocity as well. Her dam was multiple stakes placed, actually stakes placed in her second start, so she was pretty ready to go early. This is her first foal, but she's by Gio Ponti, and actually the barn, sneaky good stats for first-time starters on the dirt with maiden claiming, about 23% win 48% of the time in the money. So I thought I'd give this one a try for exacta.
And we both use 2 Princess Nola stepping up the competition after, I thought, a promising $16,000 career debut during January, which she finished second. She's a daughter of exclusive quality, and I think finds the perfect spot to step up the competition because I'm not afraid of anybody in the race. I don't know if the trainers are, but I think that she can run well in here.
She could, and she finished behind Queen Roller, who had one more start and then did actually win at a big price yesterday. So that's a horse that's actually been in very good form lately.
Well, let's go to race number 6 this afternoon, and this one is a 5-furlong turf event. It's maiden claim is 3 and up, $12,500. We do have one scratch in here of the number 7 horse. That's Fitzwilliam Darcy, has been declared out of the race, so we will not see Fitz this afternoon. And you went with the number 6 horse, and that is Ultimate Dude, right on top of your ticket.
Right on top, and this one is getting a significant class drop. Last time out, tried the turf for the first time, just stumbled out of the start. He just didn't really have the easiest trip around, but I had really been intrigued by him trying the grass last time. So now he goes down to the 12-5 level, getting a second shot. The dam did actually win on the grass, so on the bottom side, there is a little bit of turf pedigree. But we will show a trainer stat on Michael Yates in the past 5 years. In turf sprints at Gulfstream at the maiden claiming level, he's 17% win, 10 for 59, 32% of the time in the money, and a 373 ROI. So this one, 7-2 on the morning line. Thought I might be able to get a little price.
And I'm glad I like that stat. Somebody used that one on my ticket. Now, number 5, Twist Cat Candy, who I did put on top. You have in second. Drop it to the 12-5 level with blinkers added. Turn it back to 5 furlongs, hoping the trio of those karma moves help produce his first victory on the turf. He's had 7 races on the turf. 0 wins.
And that is one of the biggest reservations I had about this horse. But what I do think is pretty key, maybe the scratch of Fitzwilliam Darcy wasn't a really key scratch in terms of picks, but I do think it was key because he promised to be a big pace setter, and that probably leaves Twist Cat Candy as the main speed, especially with the added blinkers here now with that scratch.
And that's always a good angle there because one of the horses that comes out, you're dealing with a 6-horse field now, and if you get loose on the lead, especially at this 5-furlong distance, might be tough to reel in now. The other horse that we both used, I used actually in second, was the 3 Miss Patty. Drop it to this level, rallied to finish second, beaten the neck, was 20-1 that afternoon. It was a 20 maiden race contested at this same 5-furlong distance.
And he was beaten by Budding, who was a kind of a long-time maiden, but he was always knocking on the door. He was always really right there, finishing second or third. So a good horse to be second behind, and certainly shook things up for exacta purposes that day.
Well, let's go to race number 7 this afternoon. 6 furlongs allowance optional claimer fillies 3-year-olds, or the optional claiming price of $75,000. Scratch the number 2 horse in this race, and number 5 Bones on top of our ticket. This one is turning back to 3/4, track the pace, finish third behind a next out stakes winner. We've been mentioning this horse over the last couple of days. Galia, that was a 75 optional claimer going 6.5 furlongs. It's Ralph Nix, Tyler Gaffney owned. It's a daughter of Cansaros.
And she, I thought, ran very well last time out, especially considering the fact that she broke her maiden in a sloppy track. So then coming back to face winners for the first time, trying the fast main track, she did have some questions, but she was beaten by 2 really nice fillies. You mentioned Galia winning at Sunland Park for Todd Pletcher, winning the Oaks over there, and Modacious, who did go on to try Graded Stakes Company 4th in the Devona Dale. So some pretty nice fillies that she was running against, and I thought that she was very game ahead of Day by Day in her maiden win. So I like her in here too now that she's got that race against winners under her belt.
This is by far the most wide open race on the card, and you used the 3 Consulting. This one from, and I wanted to put this horse somewhere in the ticket, and I backed off. I used Bones, I used Midnight Union, but Consulting from the Tommy Proctor barn.
And we'll show a trainer stat on Tom Proctor in the past 5 years, and this is a big reason I did use this horse. Going from turf to dirt at the optional claiming level when sprinting, not the biggest sample size, but 3 for 8 win, 6 for 8 in the money, and it is a positive ROI. And you look at this horse's form, the pedigree actually does suggest turf. She is kin to Grade 3 winner Family Meeting. All of her wins were on the turf. Consulting been running in stakes competition on the turf, and her lone win, which was by more than 7 lengths, yes, it was at Tampa, but it was actually on the dirt. That was 2 starts back. She's got some speed to her as well. Nikki Figueroa in the saddle, and I saw that stat and said, well, maybe I will use her.
Yeah, and you know, Tommy Proctor, I've always had a lot of success when, as I mentioned, I used the 1 in second Midnight Union, can depart from the rail, made a move in the stretch and get pinball between horses, shuffle back to 4th when they crossed the wire, and I just thought this horse with that trouble trip, getting a little bit of a price on this horse at 10-1.
And price is always good here in this kind of wide open affair, even though it's a strong field. The 6 Ladies Day has faced Grade 2 company in the Demoiselle last time, beaten by Miss Sky Warrior, who did come back to win the Grade 2 Devona Dale after that. We also saw Bonita Bianca come back and win a stake in the Eastview as well. So this is a horse that's definitely been keeping really good company, though she hasn't been seen in 5 months.
Yeah, and she was really impressive breaking her maiden at this distance at Belmont last October. So, and you know, looks like the wheels came off. Tommy Albatrani, homebred daughter from Darley, Bernardini, and training forwardly for her sophomore debut. Now, the 8th and final race on the Thursday card, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf, maiden special weight, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. We do have scratches in here of the 2, 3, and 4. I don't know if the number 9, the main track only, is out yet, but Pete Aiello will be here in a couple of moments updating you on the situation here. Now, this was my single in my Rainbow Six, and if you remember it, that's the 7 Miss Munnings, who's stretching out to 1 mile and a 16. I thought this horse was going to make a winning move, but got in a lot of trouble. And I want to go back and show you the stretch run of Miss Munnings that day. Was the 5 horse that afternoon, and you're going to see her right there. You know, coming around, just comes around the turn and just gets in some trouble here. And you're going to see just the rail close up here when you know, just in here, you're going to just see all the trouble right here. Just gets totally wiped out when trying to make that move. There you see it right there. Just gets totally shut off in that race with nowhere to run. And I just felt that that was going to be a winning move that afternoon.
And I agree with you. I think that she really did have a lot of her momentum cut off. It was when she was coming off of a 13-month layoff, so maybe she did need that race a little bit. I think that she was making a good move there. She really was cut off a bit. I did like a couple others in here. I landed on a first-time starter on top, though. As I said, I absolutely respect that, and you're right. She did get shut off in the stretch, so any promise that she had was gone. But first-time starter for Chad Brown on the turf will do it for me. This one is kin to stakes winner Innovation Economy, who won first time out, also trained by Chad Brown. The Dam won it first time out a couple of times on the turf, so lots of precocity in the pedigree, and a full sibling to Grade 3 winner C-Speak, who also won first time out.
Yeah, but do you think I would have learned by now? We're not putting Chad Brown with a first-time starter on the turf on top of my ticket. Got him on there, but it did not put him on top. Now, I used in second the 8 Stormy Alexis, who I see you used on your ticket, stretching out to her best distance thus far, 4 races, 3 seconds and a third. She surrendered that late lead, went second, going 7.5. George Weaver, Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle. This horse is ready to break through and grab a share.
I hope she is. It's been a long time for her knocking at the door. She has had 12 starts so far. She's been exposed against maiden claiming company in a couple of times at Saratoga and Belmont, knocking on the door in all of those starts. Maybe she just meets the right field today. I also had another little bit of interest in the 5 Jeremiah Jewel, another first-time starter, this one for Christophe Clement. Nice stakes-winning mare on the bottom side. Was pretty precocious. She was 4th in the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies.
Well, that's how we see the Thursday card here. So good luck with all your selections. As I mentioned, we'll be turning it over to Pete Aiello. I'm going to go answer that phone call. And when we come back in just a little while, we'll let you know what we think about race number 1 on Thursday afternoon.
We have to take care of these horses that, give us so much joy.
Being accredited